homeless in Cape Town are paying tribute to a homeless man who was killed on Sunday, allegedly by a city law enforcement officer. Dumisani Joko died during a dispute with the officer and a member of the public in Rondebosch. The officer is facing a murder charge and is due back in court in April. Reporter Ronald Masinda is following that story for us and joins us now. Good afternoon, Ronald. Do we have any more information on the circumstances under which this homeless man actually died?
Funda, good afternoon. Well, many people who attended the memorial service remember Dumisani Joko, first of all, as a man of peace and a man who always gave people something, even though he was living on the street, the little that he had. And they also remember him as a person who was always against crime, and this is despite his own past being a former member of the 28th. They say that occasionally he was a car guard near where he stayed in Chester Road in Rondebosch, and often he would defend people who were attacked by criminals near those parking lots. But coming to the events, and just to bring people up to speed, I mean, this is just the version of events from the people who say they were eyewitnesses when Dumisani Joko was shot and killed. So we've been told that law enforcement officers were alerted by nearby residents to a fire that was started by the homeless. The law enforcement officers, when they arrived on the scene, they urged the homeless to put out the fire. One of the homeless people living in that area decided not to, because they were saying that they were actually about to cook porridge and they needed to start the fire. And this is despite the residents' concerns that this fire could also be a health hazard to them, given that they are staying quite close to where the homeless people were living. So soon after that, when the homeless person and the law enforcement officer broke into a scuffle, we are being told that the homeless person actually went to go grab a stick, threatening to strike the law enforcement officer. The law enforcement officer, we've been told, then pulled out a gun. Dumisani Joko was not far from where the scuffle broke out, and unfortunately what we've been told is that the law enforcement officer shot Dumisani Joko by mistake, and this is the version of events from the homeless at the scene. And many people feel that, you know, justice needs to be served. I mean, this law enforcement officer, we've been told, is a 22-year-old who will be reappearing in court on the 12th of April, facing a murder charge. This is according to the NPA. He's currently out on 1,000 Rand bail. We do know that the eNCA Human Rights Commission is also conducting its own investigations. We heard from Chris Neeson from the eNCA Human Rights Commission. This is what he had to say.
But in the civil service, if you're involved in any act of criminality, you get suspended until you are proven innocent. So we respect the city's position. We may not agree with it, but we expect it. However, the challenge for the city of Cape Town, they hosted, and we thank them for what they did to do with the funeral of Archbishop Tutu. But it's an insult to Archbishop Tutu's legacy that we can see this thing happen, because the Archbishop was about the homeless, the poor, Ubuntu. And I think the city should do the right thing and respect the Archbishop's legacy, not to have those what they've done. And we agree that we thank them for what they've done. But today we can see a homeless person being gunned down, very much against what the Archbishop of Cape Town was standing for.
No, Ronald, a very interesting case, and a saddening, in fact. It will be interesting to see or hear what comes out of court insofar as the force being proportionate to the threat that existed at the time. But thank you very much for that. That's our reporter, Ronald Masinda.